So, welcome everyone.
Who's excited for Latin markets? Hispanic markets, let's be clear.
Español, yes.
Español.
In every corner of the world, wherever that Espanol happens to find itself, right?
Yes, we're so excited. Actually, I have people talking to me about Chile today, and I was like, oh my goodness, everybody wants to go everywhere, but
I've actually got a silver team in Chile.
There you go. See, I mean,
So
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We planted a seed. We planted a seed, so it's growing everywhere.
I love it.
Oh, so awesome.
Well, I truly believe that this is going to be the year for Spanish-speaking markets, especially South America, for doTERRA.
Yes.
It feels like it's been coming, it's coming, and something's broken loose, and we're going to see massive growth.
I think Brazil broke loose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
all the
real.
work that so many of you have done in Central America and Mexico as well has been just instrumental in getting us to this point. So hats off. Thank
Way
you,
to go.
everyone.
Yay. To all of you guys. Yes.
Yeah. So just a quick shout out so you guys know a few of the people on the call. Daniel has played a key role in those markets like we were just saying. So amazing. Shantae Hall is here joining us all the way from Brazil. Tudo bem? Her husband is building back in Brazil. They're doing amazing. Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, and then we're like flowing.
That's an event tonight.
Awesome. Super exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, he's doing some classes.
So we'll just do quick intros and then we'll just drop into, we'll just start talking about each market and dropping into that.
So Victoria Plug and Pull is living in Shenzhen.
Yep.
And she has a global team. Yep. So she's got some team members on here that are all over the world. Victoria, why don't we let you introduce Sonia?
Yeah, we might have more than we can even say hi to.
Yeah, it's crazy living in China. I'm going global with the expats. So we have Sonia from Colombia, and we have Andrea who is building in Mexico but just moved to Qatar, so that's different.
With lots of Colombians.
Lots of Colombians in Qatar, exactly. And then Gigi might be jumping on. She's predominantly in Brazil, but with some in Colombia as well. So, and I have the team going in Ecuador.
We have people in Argentina waiting. When is that going to happen, or is it going to happen?
Awesome. We're going
to do introductions first, and then we'll get to all the countries.
So welcome, Rosie, Carmen, Maria, everyone. And I know that, you know, this all started because we were passing by Justin Harrison's office, and we've been feeling the bug for Espanol for a little while. And we were passing by his office, and there he was sitting with Arturo that used to work for doTERRA Latin markets, or just, you know, Spanish-speaking markets. And Arturo decided to come over to the Wellness Advocate side so that he could really start with all these openings that are happening, right? And so we just sat down for a minute and we learned so much just in coming together for a few minutes of issues that we'd been butting our heads up against for quite a while. And so it was really powerful for us just to mastermind together, and we wanted to just open that up. So we've begun a Facebook group, and it's called Espanol Mastermind Espanol. We'll share the link for that in just a minute if you haven't been invited already, or you can request to be added. Mastermind Espanol. And then we also just started a Google group, a Google Doc, so that we could just have a place where we could start sharing what was working in these markets, right? So the more that we help the volume grow in these markets, the more we get the attention of corporate and we get things done so that these markets get opened. And one of the things that we learned from doing this with Brazil is we had a call like this about 2.5 years ago. And we just were crazy in the crazy beginnings with just people that wanted to build in Brazil, but didn't know how or didn't know what.
Oops. Froze.
Do and let's see, good. And that opened things up so that we could just make stuff happen. So as we did that mastermind call and the conversations that ensued on the Facebook group were just amazing at helping us learn together what was working, and then we could build the volume, and pretty soon doTERRA was like, okay, we're translating the website. Okay, we're gonna, yep, and we're gonna do this little event down there, and Greg Cook was down there. Next thing you know, we have a market open, right? And the first presidential diamond down there just a few days ago, and lots of other leaders brewing. So we see that these Spanish-speaking markets are moving in that same direction. They've had incredible growth up until now, but it's just the beginnings of things, so that we can really get to where we need to get. So we're super excited to hop in, and we're just going to talk about each market by market, and we'll share our screen so that you can kind of see things, and then anybody can just start adding in as we go across. So one of the things that we're seeing is this whole collaboration piece was so instrumental in opening up Brazil. And in starting that mastermind, the best thing about that was coming together and having this collaborative spirit. And we created so much more together than we could ever create on our own. So I'm excited to do that with these Espanol markets. So can you pull open that Google Doc and then share it in the Zoom? Okay, so the first market we wanted to talk about was Colombia. So last time we talked to Ephraim, it was for sure by June that they will be shipping and have the market open. They had run into a couple hiccups, and so it was taking a little bit longer, but that was the latest. Any other updates from there, and what's working in Colombia?
I can say something about that. In Colombia, we have two corporate events coming up on the 27th and the 28th. Like I said before, we're having two events where it's going to be an all-day thing from the morning till at the afternoon. And we're going to be doing, well, basically it's to attract more people. Colombia has gone through a tough process, a tough time, because I think that we have promised so much that we were going to open that the people are a little disappointed, you know, and that's what happens with markets, with new markets. So we have to be careful whenever we are telling them times or you know, this is going to happen then. You know, between us it's okay, but for the other people out there, it's damaging. So, but for now, right now, we have these two meetings. They're going to be announcing a warehouse that is going to be opening so the warehouse can start shipping directly from Colombia. So the company as itself is not going to be opened officially. We're not having a big opening per se in June or July. It's going to be just that the warehouse is going to be working. Once we have that working, I promise you that everything is going to start moving faster, because products right now are taking about 2 weeks to get to every person. So if somebody signs up with a kit, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to receive it. But the cool thing about this being positive.
And Daniel, when you talk about people receiving it, you mean you're shipping it here from the US?
Yeah, there are a few ways that people are getting product. One is through a PO box in Miami, and then from Miami they ship it to they find somebody, and then it's taken to Colombia. And then there's a warehouse that is provided by one of our distributors, Juan Carlos. Anyway, he's from Mexico. He's in Utah, and he's doing a shipment delivery every week to Colombia. So I mean, Colombia has been moving kind of fast and slow, back and forth. But I'm excited because what's happening is we're going to be having a warehouse there, and people are going to be excited to be able to get the product faster. Right now, whenever somebody signs up and has to wait almost a month to get anything, it's tough. But I was going to say that on the positive side, the products, the product information has been received really good. Since we opened Mexico, people are getting all the materials from Mexico, the Spanish literature. The company is creating magazines. We have the price list in Spanish. We have magazines in Spanish. We have everything. So, these Latin markets are ready. We just have to have the people and the way to send the products. I guess that's the easiest way to do it. Once we have product in these countries, we're done. This is it.
Yeah, then it's all over because people love the product so much. It's done.
Yeah, then we're in trouble. Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you're using Empowered Success. So you're using freight forwarder out of Miami. Are you using US? What's that called?
My US.
My US.
There is a system where it's called 24/7, and it's in Colombia. It's a system that ships from Miami, Florida to Colombia. I can give you guys that information where it's shipped faster, but the only thing that is requested is that the person in Colombia has a PO box in Miami. So, and there is a charge, obviously, but it's not that much, and it's faster. But there is also a warehouse in Colombia where Juan Carlos, gosh, I forgot his last name. He's a blue diamond.
Juan Carlos Suarez.
Juarez. Suarez, yes.
Andy.
So he's actually, in charge of that warehouse in combination with the company. So either way.
So how do you connect to that product, or is that just for certain teams?
No, it's for everybody actually.
Okay.
Whenever you call, let's say that you sign somebody up in Colombia, you whenever you call the company, you need to say, hey, I have an order for this person, and this is going through will call through the warehouse in Colombia. There's a code. There's a code that this warehouse has, but it's the only warehouse in Colombia, so it'll be okay. They just they send it to this warehouse, and then Juan Carlos Suarez picks it up from will call, and then he sends it to everybody in Colombia.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of work.
So just call in to access Colombian will call.
Yes.
For now. Cool. So what's cool about the Google Doc is everybody can edit. So you guys feel free to like be taking notes here as we're going, or things that you know you can drop in, right? Because we know we all don't have a ton of time, so we just want to be as effective as possible in this time together. So I love that. Calling in for Columbia will call. So one of the questions was from Daniela. Are you having any issues with customs getting the product in? No.
In Colombia?
Yeah.
You know, I'll just be honest, you know, there's always a risk. We don't have any issues right now because we got the right contacts. It's kind of like a contraband thing, but I mean, it is what it is. We need the oils in there, so whatever. But we haven't had any issues. We get the product with no problems.
That's awesome. So no issues so far.
No. But now, when we open officially, we won't be able to have all the products. Then it's a different story because people are so used to getting products that they want anytime. But whenever the company opens, it only opens with a few products, probably about 30, 32. And then we have to educate the people to share the products that the company is offering and not to offer anything else.
I think that what you hit on right there is so key, Daniel. Some people get so excited about, oh, I'm shipping from the US and I should order anything from the US. And then, you know, what's really important in this pre-marketing phase is that we remember what it's going to be like when it opens up, because we could create all these problems for ourselves and our people, right? Just like you were talking about the unrealistic expectations and how it lets people down. We lose hearts and minds through when we just set up unrealistic expectations. So if you'll keep them focused in on those first key oils and just help sharing those oils and those products right now. And I mean, I would even say, like, don't go crazy on the business. Just keep planting the product. And those that are really devoted and really want to do this, great. They can keep buying the product. But they should mostly be planting seeds so that as soon as we have shipping, it's easy just to sign up like crazy. I think the warehouses sounds like a partnership between doTERRA and Mr. Suarez, correct?
That is correct. At the beginning, I was actually kind of taking care of that myself because we went crazy. But then things changed and it was given to Juan Carlos Suarez. So he's really good. He's trustworthy. So any business that you guys want to do, sending product to Colombia, it's going to be safe. But the company is going to open yet, like you said, in June or July, the shipping. So that should fix a lot of the problems that we've had with broken bottles and missing products. That is just a normal process, you know.
Yeah.
Sonia, you have a question, I think. But I think we gotta mute her. If Sonja, or maybe you can write it. That the warehouse doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, my team in Barranquilla, in Colombia, we have never had any problems with losing bottles or broken bottles or anything. But we've heard, actually, I'm really sorry to mention it, but we've heard that the warehouse in Bogota is actually not. Are you sure it's approved by doTERRA?
It's not approved by doTERRA. It's actually this distributor that we have, which is a Blue Diamond and doTERRA. He has a contract per se with doTERRA where the company has lended him product, or the company has borrowed product, you know, in consignment. So basically, Juan Carlos is doing us a favor. If everything is lost, he pays for it. So, I mean, this is just a favor that he's actually, you know, doing to everybody.
So how would it work now? Because what we're doing is we just get our orders, we get things to Miami, we have, each of us have a freight forward, we just have it delivered to our houses. And so from June or July onwards, we're just going to select Colombia when we enroll someone, or how does it work? When we enroll someone, it's not just going to be GAC any longer, but it's going to be Colombia, right?
Right. So it won't be GAG anymore. You know, GAG means global access. No, so it won't be global access anymore. Colombia will be shown on the system as a country that is part of doTERRA. So everything will be taken care of from that point on. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be shipped from this warehouse.
From doTERRA from the doTERRA warehouse. No more from the other warehouse.
Yeah. In June or July, doTERRA warehouse will be set up, and we'll no longer need to use, you know,
Anybody else?
The consignment with Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Suarez. But it sounds like what you were saying is that doTERRA's computer system now, if you call in, you can access the product that is there on consignment with Mr. Suarez without having to pay for it to all get shipped down there, correct?
That's right.
So that's a really big bonus, you know, because the shipping to just get product down there right now, we all know what that's like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he probably just has, you know, family essentials kits and basic oils. Would you say, Daniel?
Actually, he has everything.
He has everything.
They get a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say everything, but they have a lot of stuff.
Okay.
They have the majority of kits and products, yeah.
Okay. And that warehouse is in Bogota.
Yes, Bogota.
Okay. One thought there as well is just like, as we think about setting up these markets for success, another thing to remember is the shipping charges, right? Like when doTERRA opens up in Colombia, they're going to be charging shipping. So make sure that you don't just eat all the shipping charges, right? And that people are used to paying shipping so that when you convert over and when the market gets opened, again, they're not disappointed, right?
Yeah, they have to pay shipping and taxes. Now,
yeah.
So,
do you know what taxes are going to be in market?
I honestly don't know what they're going to be paying on taxes. But sometimes it's like between 6 and 10% sometimes, between that, a little more. So it sometimes is a little harder because when they open officially, you know, things change, you know, things change.
Yep.
But it's good. It's perfect.
So how about payments paid for people there in Colombia right now? It's the same as GAC anywhere, right?
Yes, the payments that, you know, there are a few ways that they're doing it. One is they're collecting the commissions and leaving them on their accounts, you know, so they can use it as, it's basically PV, you know, it's money that is in their accounts. Yeah. There is also a way that they can get commissions, which is through ProPay. You know, ProPay is a different system where the company basically deposits the money on a credit card. But yes, that's definitely something that is going to be fixed in the next few months. That way people get their commissions, because what happens is in Colombia, you know, people, they love to work in the business. They like to, they are network marketers in heart. You know, they like to build the business and they need the money. You know, most network marketer people, they want to get paid. And that's also a challenge. So it'll be awesome. I'm super pumped. I'm super excited that this is happening.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible. And they've been preparing for it for a long time. And so then the grand opening for Colombia would probably come a few months later. Well,
what I was talking to Efrain is that they said that they're gonna open the warehouse, the logistics system of doTERRA, June or July. Now the opening, I will say either will be before convention or after convention, but I'm thinking maybe after convention, because doing a big opening, you know, it requires a lot of work, and I think that they're doing the logistics right now to see what problems they're gonna have. So whenever they open it officially, it's actually working, because that's what happened in Ecuador, right? We opened and then we had some hiccups, and we got people that were like, "Whoa, I was happier the other way," you know. So we need to take care of these problems before we open it with a big party and stuff like that.
Yes.
I will say.
I love that, and super good to be aware of, and give them the time so they can do it right.
Yeah, that's important.
Sonia, I love what you're dropping in here. VAT in Colombia is around 19%.
Okay. Ouch.
Yeah, painful. I think these people are used to it, though. They understand about that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what we hit up against in Brazil and other markets. Like doTERRA is trying to keep it as affordable as possible, but then there's real taxes,
Something to mention is that, here in the US, we're very blessed. We're very lucky. People in other countries are paying more money for their product. People in Mexico, they're paying more for an intro kit than we are, because of taxes and, the exchange of the money. So I just feel very lucky that we're here. But we got the people out there so motivated, and that's when you know that the product is amazing.
Yes.
Because no matter how much it costs, they're still buying and they're still using, and they are so excited that doTERRA is in their country.
They're changing lives that way. It's so awesome and good energy. So, hey, Daniel, do you need any help on those events at all? Are you guys covered?
Yeah, we are covered, and the company is doing a good job. They have a good team.
Is the company gonna have a presence there at those events that you're talking about?
Yeah,
it's the company event.
Yeah, it's a company event. The 27th and the 30th, and the 28th and the 30th is a company event. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. 28th and the 30th.
Corporate events.
Yeah, let's put that in. Let me just ask you, so the Mexico, are you just downloading the guides from Mexico, or are you getting them from Mexico and getting them over there?
Most people download it. You mean from Mexico to Colombia?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the company sells them, so people buy it from the company.
Oh, so they can still, like at the will call there in Bogota, they haven't.
Since they're part of Global Access, we've just been using U.S. Espanol, like U.S. products, because it kind of goes the same with what they're dealing with.
Right.
So you can order those printed from U.S. Will Call. Those can go through the freight forwarder. Is there anything down there at the Bogota Will Call Empowered Success yet? That you know of?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know.
How many of you know about the International Empowered Success site by raise of hands? Yeah. A couple people. We'll share that link right here in the chat bar. We've just been like asking them for a long time. They're like, oh yeah, we have all those materials up in each market, so you can get it in each market. And we're like, hey, we have new people that we're trying to help in other markets, and you need to be able to access it from every market. So are you sharing screen?
I don't know if I can.
We'll just share screen so you can see where it is. The backup one.
So you go to the homepage of Empowered Success.
At doTERRA.com.
Yep. Scroll to the bottom, and it's right here, Building Internationally. And you click on International Empowered Success Guides.
And there's lots of other international resources right there on that link, finally brought together in a really powerful way. So we're super grateful about that. So right there, you can see everything from Mexico to download. So that, you can grab all of those guides right there. I mean, when Colombia is open, it's going to be a lot closer to what's going on in Mexico, right? So again, try and help them get used to that product, and be happy with, maybe keep the offering limited to that, because in markets like Colombia and these other markets, I don't know the timeline of getting things like lifelong vitality and some of those other things. And so I think it's important just to set people up for success that way. Other thoughts on Colombia? What else is working? Other things you want to share?
like I said, if you're trying to build in Colombia, it's a good opportunity. People in Colombia, they love sales, they love sharing, they like network marketing. As a matter of fact, there's a law in Colombia where they can be part of different network marketings without getting in trouble, which is also kind of scary too, because sometimes, you got somebody from this team from doTERRA doing Herbalife, and legally as a legal system, they can do different network marketings. Now with doTERRA, it's different because we want them to be faithful to, our company and do not do cross recruiting. So we always watch for that. But that's what we need to tell the people. You in Colombia, yes, you can do many network marketing companies, but in doTERRA, we have a culture of not cross recruiting, and we're very protective of our people. So just be careful. It's an advice that I give to all my customers, that do more than one network marketing. If they're doing more than one, usually, they're not focusing 100%, but that's at the beginning. But Colombia is awesome. I think it's going to be a great market. And with all the shared success information that we have, that you guys have put together, Natalie and Andy, I think it's amazing. I think that has changed the world for many, many people, and the information is floating for everybody. So.
Isn't it so nice how small the world has gotten as far as doTERRA goes? I mean, we can build any market in the whole world, and we can do it because we have the guides in that language. And we're just so grateful for, honestly, it was a group deal, right? Everybody has to contribute to it. And doTERRA coming together made it so we could all have that, that available. So that's awesome. One other question there too, and maybe this is a general question. Is there any ways to get, this might apply to all markets, reference guides, or what are you using down there to educate and empower people in a non-compliant way? Any reference guides or things that you're using?
Well, we use everything that the U.S. market has. The U.S. Latino market has. So I would just focus on that, But
are you getting, so the Spanish speaking modern essentials, maybe using the smaller guides so it's not costing so much to get down there?
Yeah, well, yes. People are shipping boxes of information. They don't care, but the information that we have, I think, in the Spanish market is helping a lot there. All the information that we have already there. And people download a lot of stuff from the internet, and something that they do over there is they print a lot of stuff. If they want to pass it to a person, they print it. They duplicate that very fast.
Yeah. I'm hoping we have Spanish apps pretty soon, because I think that will be useful. Aren't most people in those markets Android?
Yes. Most people, I think that one of the most technological countries that I've been to that people are really good about is Costa Rica. And those guys are crazy. I'm talking about like 10 years ago, those guys were like rolling with the technology, and then there's other countries, that follow, but Chile is one of them, is really good as well. Colombia too, Ecuador, we're going right there. But yeah, like you say, having an app and technology, educating people on how to use the website, and it's very important. Very important.
Awesome.
Can I ask a question? Daniel, maybe what's doTERRA going to do about payment, or the different payment options? In Colombia is the country with less credit cards used. And so what are we doing with regards to that?
I'm not sure what exactly they're going to be doing, but normally when they do this, eventually they will do direct deposit into accounts. That will be the ultimate goal, just like we have it here in the U.S. But I'm not sure what they have in mind.
I mean for LRP, not for the commissions, but LRP.
To do the loyalty reward orders?
Yeah, or any enrollment, because in Colombia, people don't use credit cards. People don't have credit cards. It's the country with less credit card in the world. So for example, what other options are there? Is like any other way that some people they feel deterred to enroll because they don't have a credit card?
Yeah. Um,
Hello, everyone. This is Victor. I'm listening to this question. Can I tell you what I heard from Efrain?
go ahead, Victor. Hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
Thanks,
So,
Victor. Yeah.
hey, thank you for this. So, in Mexico, there is a thing where people that do not have credit cards, they can go to the bank and make a direct deposit to the bank. So they're gonna be trying to do the same thing in Colombia as Mexico. So for people that do not have credit cards or debit cards, they will be able to go to the bank. Well, they have to place an order through doTERRA on the phone, and doTERRA will give them what is it? It's a
Reference number.
A reference number. And with that reference number, they go to the bank and pay to the bank, and the bank sends the report back to doTERRA at the end of each day with all payments.
And they're also using the OXXO stores, and I think that in Colombia there may be also OXXO stores from Mexico. OXXO.
No.
Yeah. Usually
you get a debit card for $1.
Yeah. Usually doTERRA will use the bank system. As they have a relationship with the bank. It's an international bank that they use for these kind of transactions. So yeah, that's what Efrain told me that they're going to be working on.
Good.
Yeah.
I think OXXO will open in Colombia, and the debit card is like $2 or something like that, and they just put money in there, and then they can start doing their LRP. It's like a convenient little supermarket, and I think it's entering Colombia also.
I sure hope so. Yeah, I think that having definitely a debit card, credit card will be the best option. I don't know. So if you have somebody that is really motivated and is a leader, I'm sure those people already have one. Most of them, So it's the same challenge we're going in Ecuador. There's a lot of people that don't have credit cards because it's not easy to get a credit card in other countries. Like we have it here in the US, we're just applying. Next time you are a millionaire, Well, not really, but in Ecuador, they don't give it to you. They're very hard on that. So.
In Chile, though, sorry, with the credit card issue in Chile, we've got something very similar. Hi, Natalie, and everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here. And something that a lot of our girls are doing there's applications, and if actually you just do a simple Google search, there's applications that you can get, like, a virtual credit card, and you deposit the money into there, and they give you a credit card, like a card number, and that's what they do the LRP with, so they don't have to get either a debit card or a credit card or deal with banks. And I've done searches for different countries in Latin America, and I think that they're quite popular because of the whole issue that people don't get cards there very commonly. So that's another option that we're using, and it's working.
Wow.
Happy to share the Chilean site that we're using, but it's just .cl one, but I'm sure that there'd be lots of options around.
Yeah, let's drop that in. So that's what you're shipping.
No, that's for payment. So that's for payment. It's because a lot of people also are very scared of like fraud. So that even if they do have a card, they don't want to just give you their cards when they're enrollment, when with just a normal enrollment. So you can just tell them. It's called match.cl. Match.cl. I've just dropped it there in the comments.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, okay, so anything else on Colombia? One thing we want to invite people to do is just drop your names in if you have interest in that market. And then when we have something specific to that market, let me share with you so you can kind of see what I think we're finding is that we can kind of keep things, maybe we can keep it a little bit tighter so it's easy just to scan down. But if you'll put your name in here as a collaborator and your contact info, then when people are working on a market or going down to do a trip, it's easier to collaborate. And of course you can just make a Facebook post as well, but we've got a lot of people that are not very connected to Facebook, that are just in market, that are happy to collaborate, or know where to do events and that kind of thing. If you're willing, just drop in your details there. Anything else on Colombia? Okay, let's roll to Chile. Thanks for starting us off there. So let me get back. So what else is working? Daniela, others?
We have, hey Natalie, this is Victor. We have a team. We actually have 2 gold members in Chile right now. And we've, it's been hard to get product through Chile right now, since customs is very complicated. But we've been pushing products through a friend, through an airline right now. So, that's the only way that we've been working through customs.
Through like stewardesses, basically?
It is a flight attendant that we have access to once a month. So that's how we put product through Chile, because the previous times we were using Elvira. And Elvira, she sends product to Chile, and she's in Utah. But when it gets to customs, it's a gamble. So that's been the big issue right now in Chile. So yeah, right now I'm not really sure. We've talked to doTERRA about getting some product registered, but they're asking $60,000 to $80,000 worth of volume to be able to start registering. So as of right now, my team moves about 40,000 in Chile. So we just need 20 more. So
awesome. We've gone from 0 to like 3,000 this month. And I think if we just focus a little bit more all together, right, we can be there pretty quick. Yeah. Daniela, how much volume do you guys have so far?
We've got about 15,000.
Nice.
So that should, it's strange though, because I had a meeting. I'm trying to find my notes here with one of the account managers, and he was telling me totally different numbers. He was saying that the December sales were about half $500,000 in Chile. So that sounded really.
No, it will be open for sure.
Yeah, right. This is what I thought, that it would totally be open with those volumes. So there must have been.
Maybe that was a mistake.
I've been thinking that, because I had heard about the 60,000 volume, and I was like, I'm sure that we're doing that, or very close. So we as well, like Victor, hello, nice to meet you. We've got a silver team in Chile, and we've been using Elvira on and off, because we've had lots of troubles with the gamble with the customs. So we're literally at the moment, we've got about 4 boxes stuck there, and they're trying to charge, even though I sent all of the paperwork and everything, they're still trying to double the costs of the product, and they're trying to charge about 60 to 70% of the actual cost in taxes. So it's definitely not a viable option. So we're just going with suitcases. And I have heard though that actually we've asked the last 2 boxes to be returned. So when they not get passed in customs, I have heard that if you send them back and then separate them in little boxes, all of the little boxes are still going through. So it's just the 5 kilo boxes that are having lots of issues. But the smaller boxes are getting through with no problem, but you can't fit like diffusers or much things in the small boxes, so it gets quite pricey. So I think that just the suitcases really is what we're doing at the moment.
And with those, you said Elvira?
Mm-hmm.
Can you spell that out in the chat for us?
So she's got a paqueteria, which so she that's how she actually got introduced to doTERRA. She was sending too much doTERRA products to Latin America, so she got intrigued. And she's a diamond, and yeah, so she sends products to Latin America. She picks them up in Utah, so she's in Utah. And she charges per box. But to be really honest, we've actually had a conversation this week actually, and she can see how it's not really serving anyone, because it's giving her more troubles than actual work for her people, and it's giving us troubles because it's just really hard. So it's a situation that really puts us all in a lot of stress. And then we've got, like they were speaking with Colombia, a lot of people in Chile have really kind of got that expectancy because the shipping was working so well that, you know, everyone just kind of got really trusting. And so they would just do all their orders with Elvira. And so now we're trying to manage. We've actually had one leader just recently quit because of this issue, because they're expecting like me to put the money and pay for all these taxes, or right, they're like, well, it's not my fault, like it's always worked. So it's really tough dealing with this entitlement was the word that I was looking for, when we've got a system that really works, to then when problems that are out of our control. So yeah, this has been what we've been going through in the last 2 months. And that's the other thing with customs, they've got 2 to 3 month waiting periods, so people don't see their products for a while.
Wow.
Mm.
That's so. Is she feeling like she needs to hold off, and maybe we shouldn't like share her details so openly right now?
I think I think it's you know, it's each person's responsibility if they want to work with her, because obviously she just gets she'll make her responsibility in sending the product and, you know, getting it. But then what happens with customs is, you know, something that's totally out of her hands. So her having to deal then is, you know, with all of, like, I've got, you know, not only leaders, but only just, you know, clients that do their normal LRP that like are chasing her down to, like, you know, get her to pay their products. And, you know, it's just got really, really ugly because people are just not really understanding, you know, what happened. It's just really hard. So these last 2 months have been, the Chilean customs has just gone crazy. They're getting every single box, and my mum actually went to the offices in the airport to speak with the people to see whether she could get something there, and they said, we're getting somebody from the UK shipping loads. So that's the other issue with volume.
Yeah, can I just give my thought on that? Because we run through the same issue with opening Ecuador and opening Mexico and Costa Rica. And I'm glad that we're having this call, because as we're trying to open other Latin American countries, if we all can figure it out a way to use one venue, one line of a stream for shipping product. Yeah. Because what happens is that while we wait to create volume for doTERRA to register in a country, and we all start using different venues, what happens is that these people that work in customs, they want to make money under the table. They do want this. That's how these markets work, and that's how they do it. I mean, that's how they do it, and it's sad. So what happens is that when they see somebody else that is not them in customs putting products through of the same brand, they start pointing fingers at each other. And what happens is that that's when the product gets stuck. But if we all come into an agreement where we say, okay, let's use only one person, and this person will be the one helping us through the whole process, regardless of how much money we're going to have to put under the table, because that's what we basically have to do. Unless doTERRA opens the market right away, right? That's the way it will work. Otherwise, everyone is going to start using one person here, one person there, and this person uses somebody else.
And that's when it comes to be that they point at fingers for each other, so the product gets stuck and they can't do it. It's only them doing it, and that's the only ones that are playing all these broken plates. It's you and us, the distributors.
Yeah.
So we need to find one person that can help us all in Chile in customs.
But
And if
so
we,
you're talking about customs, right? You're not talking about the shipping.
no, because that's the easy part. In shipping we can have anyone. Shipping we can have anyone. It's when it gets to the country. It's when it gets to customs. If we have somebody and that's what we did in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, we actually signed up the person in customs, because that person was also building the organization and helping with the custom process. But in this case, we can just have this one person helping us. We pay them a fee for helping with all this volume, and we just have one person doing it. And that way we know that there's not going to be anyone else pointing fingers and having product stock. And
Victor, I think that is that's such big vision and so real. Like, we have to understand what's really happening, in this underbelly of the business, because we had we sent over some product pretty discreetly. Like, we know how to get product in a country through suitcases, and some got totally through. We got about $3,000 through, and then we had our next guy, everything got stuck, and they, it was about, maybe it was $5,000 worth of product, and they wanted $3,000 worth of fees to get it through. And then they told us, oh, it's okay, we will register it for you as long as you pay us the fees, So we talked to Ephraim. It's kind of unusual. We've never done that before. But he said, if that's what you need to do to get your product, it's okay. And so there have been some of the oils get approved as aromatics already in Chile. And Justin's guy, Arturo, I think he understands all of the exactly which ones were approved and that kind of thing. So we can drop that in here if that's relevant for later. But I think when we can come together and, like you're saying, at least use one customs agent, and even, if we find one route that's working, then we can streamline that and then avoid some of this other problem, because it's
jealousy.
Real.
I can tell you there's jealousy in the customs in South America, because they want to be the ones that get all the fees. The more money they can make, it's better for them, especially if there's several agents. But if there's only one agent helping us all, it will be so much easier. So I don't know.
So are you talking about like a legal agent or not?
Have you identified like an agent in Chile, or how do we do that? Help us know how we can.
It's gonna be an agent that works in customs, but these agents, and I'm sorry, this is the way Latin American countries work. But these agents have connections that can help us put product that is not registered through.
Because I've had meetings with a lot of customs agents, because in our team we've got people that work legally with importing things, but the whole process was just like, it blew up the cost to about 80% of the product, and then every single time you brought in product, you had to get, for each single order, right, for each single LRP, you had to go through the ISP, the health, right, getting those products. And obviously my mum's done this thing again and again and again, going to get when it gets stuck in customs, and you need to lie and say that it's all for aromatics, and it just legally it's impossible at the moment.
Legal is impossible at the moment, because it requires the company to have a name there. I mean, they're all legal, all legalized, right? So with these agents, we have to just have a sit down and talk about how much they're going to charge us, what's going to be their fee, what's going to be not going to be the customs fee, what's going to be their fee to help us put the product through. And when we come to an agreement, there will be the ones taking care of it. And you know, the way to do it is they will charge us by pound. There will be a fee for the pound by pound, and that will be it. So we'll just have somebody to ship it from here to Chile, and then there will be a fee for them to charge us per pound. It will not be
Victor,
per pound.
I think Victor, we should send you to Chile with all the product that we have, and you're gonna help us.
I'll go in on part of that ticket, Victor. So.
All right. We're gonna send you. You're gonna be our guy. No, like Victor is saying, you know, it's important that we have one person, but now finding that person, it's gonna be hard, because obviously it's a business where it's under the table. And but you know what? We've done it in Mexico.
I'm trying
We've done it
to
everywhere.
remember what Arturo said earlier this week. And,
Yeah, what did he say?
I think he has a contact there in customs. Do you remember?
Okay.
Right up on the board.
Let me catch our notes from up on the board there, but he is going down at the end of this month, and they're doing some events in Chile. So we'll drop that into this event column, and then we'll post it as well. But
hey, Natalie, did you say that they were looking into registering the product? Is that what you said? I cannot remember what you said. Okay, they were kind of looking into it.
So basically, we ended up having our guy register the oils, but we haven't registered. They're just registered as aromatics, but we haven't registered like the deep blue rub or toothpaste or, you know,
those kind of things wouldn't get through. But all the aromatics, they cost nothing to register. And so Ephraim just said, okay, it's okay if that's what it takes for you to get your product back. So
okay, good.
Hey, so we're already registering product.
Exactly. We got a company there now. So yeah, okay.
But I think that still doesn't, I think you're right about the custom solution. We got to have that solution. And so we'll start dropping this other information in as soon as we get it there. But let me just ask, okay, Victor, again, you said how much volume? Maybe because I think
last month we were close to 40,000. We have 2 gold members there.
Yeah.
And we were very close to $40,000.
Yeah.
In Chile.
Okay. And Daniela, your volume just in April.
We got 14,000.
Okay.
I don't want to make you guys feel bad, but I think we did about 200 PV
Whatever.
in Chile last month.
We're getting there.
I hate to drop the mic like that. But.
Hey,
everything counts. Everything counts.
We all start somewhere. So, and the number they are saying they're looking for is
60 to 80,000, and that's what actually Arturo told us before he quit doTERRA.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is that the volume. I was talking one time to Greg Cook, and we talked about the volume because we had met a lot of the goals that they have told us about the volumes and stuff. But what he said to me is like, doTERRA, what they need to see is leadership. They need to see people that are committed to build the business, you know, and the volume is going to come right behind that. So I remember that there was a point where we were trying to open Ecuador, where they said like 50,000, and we did 50,000 in like 6 months, and we're like, okay, now let's go ahead and open doTERRA. You know, it's ready. We're ready to open. That's when Greg said, you know, we need to have the leadership before we open. So, and then he mentioned, well, whenever we have the first gold or the first silver.
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
Hey, James.
There is an important thing though that I know is going on cross team is the amount of people that get their product to Chile, but they're actually enrolled in. I've got Australian upline, so I've got a lot of Australian leaders, that also build in Chile. So they just enroll their people in Australia to make it all easier so they can get the product in Australia. And what I was just saying before is that when my mum spoke to the person at customs, just a normal, person that at the front desk, he said that there was so much product coming in from the UK. So I'm assuming that there's also somebody in the UK sending, he said that they received hundreds and hundreds of boxes, and that's why they know exactly what it is and they're getting it right. So I think that we're far from the volume. I mean, we've got way more than the volume. It's just a matter of the enrollments are sitting.
Just so you know, there is no magical volume number. I've been in enough countries now with this to know that that doTERRA says a lot of things, but it really just comes down to when they think things are ready to open a market, or how it lines up with what they're currently doing and what they can do. In the last year or so, they've been going, and I've had conversations with Dave personally, like we're going too much too fast, and I think they're trying to catch up with everything now with announcing some of the things they've announced, but even those dates for official will change. So I wouldn't get caught up on a volume. I would, at least in the other markets that I've been involved with, we just figure out a shipping solution and we figure out a payment solution. And if we have those two things, you just go forward with that until doTERRA says, oh yeah, we're ready for that market.
Is there a market that doTERRA is actually talking about opening next? Guys, I don't know if there's something in the map saying this is next.
Philippines is one of the next in the hopper. They've mentioned, of course, Colombia and Ecuador. I don't know where they're really at on those two, but I know they're serious about the Philippines, and there's a lot of activity corporate-wise in the Philippines, but I don't know about anything else in South America.
Yeah. Colombia is next. We opened Ecuador about a month ago, officially. Colombia is next, and then, and Brazil was before that, so yes. Philippines is a good market as well, so.
Sorry that I just jumped into the conversation. I forgot that I was an hour. Well, I went by 4 o'clock my time instead of 4 o'clock your time. So yeah, a little late.
You're all good. Hey, and we're taking the big notes on a Google Doc in the Facebook group. We'll share those links again here now for those that are catching us on the flip side. But one of the things we wanted to share is, how do we get, what is that? These are we're sending in priority mail, these padded envelopes like this, the flat rate, and they have been getting in. So we haven't sent a ton that way, but they have been getting in. So I really like what you're saying, Daniela, about the small boxes and the padded envelopes are getting in, the big boxes are getting stopped. That's our experience.
Yeah, that has been our experience.
James, you're breaking up.
And that was the experience. There were experiences like in Europe early on. Sorry, I'm me now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in a crappy coverage area. I'll be out of it in a second, but yeah, I mean, in some of the other markets, I could list several where that was also the case. One, I don't know if it's this way in other countries in South America, but like in Paraguay, like there was a lot of people down there were ordering stuff off of Amazon and using, and I know Daniel's done this, Victor's done this, they're using freight forwarders out of like Florida and stuff. Adds a little bit of money. We did the same thing in Russia. We were doing almost, I think, over 100,000 in volume in Russia, and we were using a freight forwarder. So if you can figure out some freight forwarders are strong in, you know, some countries than other countries, and there's different freight forwarders, but that may be something to explore. And I know Daniel and Victor, you've had experience with that. We did it in Korea, we did it in Russia. We're kind of looking into that for the Philippines, and we've experimented with it down in Paraguay, and it worked. You know, the few packages that we did down there, it worked really slick, and it was only an extra like $9.
Yeah, well, the thing is that even if we have a freight forwarder, we still have to go through customs. They still have to go through customs. So, you know, once again, I just go back to making sure that we find that one person and we can all go through that one person. Because if we still use several different agents, we're going to run through that problem until doTERRA is in the country. So truly, you know, even if one of us go and find that one person, or somebody in the country can help us find that person, and we can sit down or have a call and negotiate with this person, but truly have something written down of how much this person can charge us, so they can help us put this product through. Because even if we have the freight forwarder, which we use Avianca will be the one that I like. Avianca is it's cheap, they charge you by the pound, and they definitely can help us put the product in Chile and in any South American countries, really. But it's the agent who can help us out, putting all these through.
Well, what we did was we used the freight forwarder, and we got them the you know, the MSDS sheets from corporate. That's kind of all they needed, and then they were able to kind of quote unquote register with the customs whatever needed to be done. They were able to do all the paperwork as long as we got that information on the oils. So I don't know if that's something, you know, that's, you know, country specific, but we've done that a couple times.
That's actually that's great that you bring that up as well, because one of the things that I think that we can, if we're gonna do this as a group, as a team, I think that we have to have some kind of price list of what products we're gonna be putting through. Because if we all agree into, like, let's start with 10, 20 products that we actually have the MSDS forms, and we use this agent that will have the forms. That way, we're not gambling and saying, okay, now I'll ship shampoo, a deodorant, and I ship all these different things that the agent doesn't have. And that's when they start pointing fingers at each other as well, because now there's more doTERRA products that they do not have the MSDS forms, and that creates a problem. But if we all have certain quantities of what's going to be shipped in regards to, let's say, lavender, peppermint, and lemon, those are the ones that we have the MSDS forms. Now we all know that those are the things that we're going to be working for the next couple months, instead of adding so much product to the country.
Oils, that was it.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I lose it?
I don't know if that
there?
makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we just when we did it, you did oils only. We didn't throw, you know, when we were building up in a country to start with, we did oils only. Anything else outside was muled in suitcases.
Yeah. You know, I thought I heard that we said that the company is gonna open the country whenever they're ready or whatever. But I mean, just for the peace of mind and all these people building this business, I would like to have some guidance from the company. Say, hey, listen, this is what we need. You know, this is what needs to happen in order for us to open. Because we as a leaders, and you know, we've been with the company for so long, we understand that it will take, you know, leadership and volume, but maybe the company can guide us and partner with us on this, you know, and because I know there's a lot of people out there that they feel that they're left out. They feel that they're just building these for nothing. I got people building in,
I mean,
Peru, Colombia, and they've been waiting forever and forever, and they don't hear anything from anybody, and they just keep doing it and doing it. I don't know. I just kind of would like to have some peace of mind for them from the company saying, listen, guys, we're with you guys, and this is what we need.
But and I totally agree with you, Daniel. But the problem is it sets everyone up for failure in that, because if you put any type of date or timeline or like number or anything, it's not that concrete. It changes all the time. It changes once the company decides to get into the market or take it seriously. I mean, I've seen this enough time. You have too, man. It doesn't. How do you make it concrete? Like, if you guys meet these numbers or this many golds or silvers or whatever, we're there, because the company doesn't even know until they get into it every time. And I've never seen it not be the case, right? Every time they have things come up, and so you just end up frustrating everybody, right?
It's just, I'm just thinking in a softer way, and I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, all these people are suffering. They want this so bad.
I know. I've watched people totally burn out and totally lose it, and then everyone else comes in. It's like Natalie always says, what do you say? The something gets slaughtered and the pioneers settle. I don't know. Anyway.
The pioneers slaughtered and the settlers get rich.
Yeah. So, but that is. But the people who I feel for them, I've I don't really, it takes a lot for me to shed a tear, but I've shed tears over people in these countries who are just killing themselves and waiting, and they don't have the insight that we have. But I don't like to set any expectation other than, hey, are you in this for the long haul or not?
I love what you're saying there, James. And I think Randall, you're echoing that. In Argentina, you've told your people no expectations on an opening. They're pioneers. They enroll with that expectation. I think that's the only way to set things up for success, is to find those leaders, let them know that it's going to be a long haul, and just plant seeds. And if we do that without too many expectations, then hopefully when the market comes, Shantae was chiming in and she said, hey, we muled our product in. You guys shipped your product every week, vans full, down to Brazil for 2.5 years. That is sometimes the cost of what it takes to open a market. And many of you have been doing that for a long time, right? You've done amazing, and your people have been so patient. And it's crazy to think that we could ask anything more, right? And we know that it will get easier in the days ahead, but being wise now, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. In every one of these countries, and it will be great, and will bring lots of freedom and health and wellness to the people. And we just have to be wise about that marathon factor, right?
Natalie, can I just add something really quickly about Chile? Because our upline Zach and Stacy, when they were in the Hawaii trip, Zach spoke to Greg Cook, and he asked when they were opening Chile, and he said the same thing about opening too many markets at once and how they've learned their lessons. And so he said definitely not 21, and most probably not 22. So we've got to be looking from 23 or 24 onwards, and that was the latest that he got on the trip to Hawaii. That was not very long ago. So we really need to figure out a long-term strategy, like what Victor says, with someone in customs, because the short-term things that kind of work and then just get destroyed, and then we need to figure something else out. It's just so time-consuming and so energy consuming that we don't want to build expectations to people. We just need to get something like if the market was never going to open.
Well, and let me say to that, Daniela, that there is some pluses to that as well, right? In Russia, actually, once the company took over shipping, they broke it, right?
Yeah, totally.
We were killing it there until the company, took over. So, and that's what we did. We figured out who to work with, how to get product in. It took us 3 years to really get it dialed in, but it took us a good year to get it working, and then another couple of years to get it totally dialed in, and it was awesome until the company takes over. So there are some plus sides to us just going in and trying to figure out how to make it work, and actually, in a sense, kind of let the company take their time to cross their T's and dot their I's, because we beg them into a market, and then they're not ready, and everything just all hell breaks loose.
Absolutely, and well, we've got the example with Costa Rica that there's no enrollment kits and there's pretty much no oils in Costa Rica, because they've got a big shipment, like the same thing we're going through with customs, like personally doTERRA's going through in Costa Rica, and they can't get their big shipment out, so they've released some ridiculous enrollment kits with like Luma diffusers and peace oil. Just how do you enroll people with that? So we're very blessed to get all of the product from the States.
Then yeah, that's already fixed. There's all the products now in Costa Rica.
Okay, so that must have been very recent.
Oh yeah, that was a big hiccup last month. It was bad. Yeah. So we need to find that one person in customs. We all use the same person. We figured out a fee that person will charge. And you know what? As leaders, we come together, and I think that will be amazing, because if we can find that long-term strategy with that one person until doTERRA can get in, it'll make things easier for everyone, especially as we're working as a team together. And now that I know there's more people building in Chile, I think it'll be great to have some events together.
Mm-hmm. I think one key way to make it through this season is together, because our people are going to need other people, right, to survive in country. This is one of the things that we saw. Of the things that we saw in Australia initially starting out, and one of the things we've seen again in Brazil, like the collaboration is what keeps the doTERRA community happening, even when it's happening on a smaller scale, right? So it'll help our country survive.
So is everyone on this call really focused on Chile, or is this just a few of you?
James, we've been talking about a few other markets before then, but there's a lot of talk on Chile. And
well, I don't know if you remember my cousin Josh. I could reach out to him. He's married to a Chilean, and he's more Chilean than he is really anything else. And he has theoretically a lot of contacts down there. And I actually have been thinking about, once Chile was starting to come online, using that to leverage him into doTERRA. But I could just feel out and see, unless you guys already have a line on something.
No, that's awesome. Hey, some of the word that I just got was that we do have a designated customs agent. So the products that were approved, this customs agent knows about in Chile. We're getting the details of that customs agent, his name and everything like that. But this guy, Vicente, Vicente Constant, right here, he's the contact that is working with that customs agent, and he's going to let us know the details of that. We'll put the customs agent details in here on what's working as well. So anything else on Chile?
I'm just wondering, would it be appropriate to contact that Vicente?
Yeah, I think he's, don't you think that's okay, Andres?
Yes, I think so. He's going to be willing to work with others in order to open the market.
He's trying to figure it out. He already talked to Arturo last week. Arturo and Vicente are collaborating on the events later on this month, and so I'm sure
he's happy. Like we're waiting right now to get the customs agent details from him. So his number is right there in there, his WhatsApp details. So you're welcome to, Daniela. And we'll drop in event details here later on.
For Arturo's.
Yeah, for Arturo's events. But Arturo's hoping, he's traveling around the country quite a bit when he's going down there, and he's hoping to make breakthrough while he is there. Okay, anything else on Chile? Let's see. Arturo is the guy that you were kind of talking about him too, Victor. He used to work for Latin markets at doTERRA, and now he has left doTERRA and is working. He wanted to help people more, and so he's working now with Justin as a wellness advocate. We will share the event details as soon as we get the Chile event details. We've got the Colombia ones in up top here, but we'll get the other ones.
Arturo's going down this month.
Yeah,
so
end of May.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they might even be the same dates as these Colombia ones. Okay. Anything else on Chile? Let's flow to Argentina. Who else got the most experience here? Randall,
you're crushing it in Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get my stuff going here. So it's interesting to hear everybody's conversation because, yeah, this is so critical that, I mean, what Victor said, as far as really dialing in on one person there. With Argentina, don't even bother shipping anything there. They literally open up every single package in front of the actual recipient. Super strict. But
can you give me the name of the person?
What I would say is in Argentina, the thing that's been really critical for our team there is the azafatas, which are the flight attendants. Huge. In fact, when we enroll somebody, we tell them as part of the signing up process, they need to start asking, who do they know who's a flight attendant who actually does this? These flight attendants bring their own scales. It's their side hustle. It's part of the deal. So our team has quite a few of these flight attendants that are already on board, that bringing product in. But then the second thing is we actually do have a contact, not at customs. I mean, it eventually goes through, clears through somebody. But somebody on my team has a contact, and I've already been in touch with him. He said he can handle unlimited volume were his words, but it touches about 8 people's hands. Eventually, it ends up in customs, and then it passes through. So it's very interesting what Victor says, because I could probably reach out to him and say, who is that person? Maybe we have a sit down. I mean, my guy's going to want to not lose that compensation, right? So that's an important part of the critical thing there. But with Argentina, that's pretty much a way. And we've got a second contact now at customs. That stuff's passing through. They have ProPay down there. So I've done several meetings down in Argentina. It's a great market, but you can't ship it. The padded envelopes, all that, nothing will work like in Brazil. You were able to get those padded envelopes kind of through consistently enough, but like not in Argentina. And I would say their customs are not as strict as other countries. I've been through the airport. They ask me what the product is. I tell them, and then they just say, okay, go ahead. Whereas in Brazil, when I took that package in once for Matt, I mean, they were like, they knew exactly how much to charge. And I mean, they were really spot on. But Argentina's not as savvy when it comes to knowing what's going on with doTERRA. But I think I might be able to reach out and find that one contact at customs, which would be great, because I think a lot of people want to build down there, but they're just no, that's fine, Shante. It was a learning experience. I think a lot of people want to build down there. The Argentines, are so into these oils, it's like insane. And the value of the peso, the Argentine peso, has gone down. It's worth 1/3 of the price now as it is when I signed up my first builder in November of 2017. It was 17 pesos to the dollar. Now it's 45, and we signed up more people than ever last month. Like they're even wanting more. So there's something unique about that market. I think it's a great one to build in. I didn't know anybody there. Somebody contacted me off Facebook, and then that turned into other things. But what questions specifically? I mean, maybe better people can ask about Argentina, because I think we've got it. We got ProPay down there. We've got shipping down there. And now it's just a matter of getting the volume and the leadership more than the volume, getting the leaders where they need to be.
Love it. Hey, what products are you focusing on? Like same thing, basic oil kits?
Yeah, I'd like to say the basic oils, but you know, there are people that put those orders in for diffusers, and it's kind of a pain in the butt because I actually pick everything up here in Utah, and then I ship it off to Florida, which is where all these flight attendants go in and out of, and then the other contacts right out of Florida. So they're buying everything at this point. It's kind of like, yeah, I should have probably set that precedent early on that we only buy the oils, but they're kind of tied to, at least my team. We could change some things and say, look, this is the only thing that's being offered now, and they'd have to adhere to it. And if we lose some people, we lose some people. They you know. But I believe in probably going back to that as limiting their offering. Plus, it's really hard to package all that stuff. It's complicated. If somebody puts a normal LRP through of like 8 oils, I can throw those in a quart-sized Ziploc bag in like 2 seconds and get that thing off. I've hired somebody now to help me repackage and do it. And we take pictures of the invoices and then email those to the leader so they know what's coming in their packages. But yeah, I really like that idea of stopping the just ordering everything mentality, because when the market opens now, I mean, they can always buy those things. Like, I guess Chinese people are still buying stuff from the U.S. market and having that guy that I always see down there shipping stuff over to China. But so much easier if we start with the basics and just have them get really good at understanding those basic oils and things. There's actually a guy who I met last time I was down there who owns a multi-level marketing company with essential oils, and he already imports diffusers. So I'm going to have a meeting with him in the first week of June about just getting diffusers from him. He's like, yeah, fine, if you guys want to order diffusers from me. So he's got some that are very comparable to the pedal diffuser, for example. So it's just about being resourceful in these markets. But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
Those are great questions. Hey, like Victor, Daniel, have either of you had issues with bringing in like a diffuser that way or anything? Do you see any problems there?
Bringing diffusers
in Argentina or anywhere?
I mean, anywhere in these unopened markets, bringing in a diffuser outside of doTERRA, has that backfired for you before?
No, not really. We've used Chinese companies, and basically they're easier to go through customs. You just have to find the right person that can just pass the product, basically. But they don't need any registration or anything, so it's super easy to send diffusers. Even sometimes the Chinese will send a whole box of products directly to the country that you want them to. Like, they can send a whole box of diffusers to Ecuador. But again, we need somebody that can, help us through the process of getting it out of the customs.
Okay.
Awesome. The one thing that with everything that we've done, taking these products to other countries that are not opening yet, taking diffusers, it just creates more volume in those boxes or whatever that you're sending to. And especially if you're trying to not be that noticeable at the very beginning, and if you're including oils and then you're also including the diffusers in the box, it just creates more volume to where you will get stopped. So at the very beginning, when we were opening different Latin American countries, We were just focused in the oils and creating that volume. And of course that, you know, having a diffuser creates more consumption, but you know, if we don't want to be that noticeable, that's just my thought and my experience from what I saw at the very beginning, because even going to Ecuador, when we were putting product through customs, having all those big boxes with the diffusers, we were stopped every single time. And then we, of course, after a few years, we found that person that helped us even with diffusers. But until we find that one person that can, no matter what you ship, that person will put it through, I think that we have to keep it simple, you know, where we ship oils, we ship, you know, what we have, diffusers. To me, when you're just barely getting into a market that is that complicated, like I know Argentina is very complicated because I have shipped product to Colombia, and every single time, seriously, every time got stopped, and I was not able to get it out. Diffuser is hard. Not saying that it's impossible, but just keep it simple.
Great
Can
input.
I just ask, sorry, for Randall or whoever else is getting the products in with flight attendants, what sort of volume is each person getting in? Because I have had people that travel, live in the States and travel, you know, on a monthly, have problems come in because they've just really, you know, made a huge, you know, taken in 2 suitcases full, and then obviously customs.
So the flight attendants can usually support an executive business in what I've seen. They usually will not want to take in more than 5 kilos, which is 12 pounds, approximately 12 pounds. So like one of my distributors, she literally has a network of like 10 azafatas, you know, flight attendants that, and she just tells me, hey, this one's coming on June 1st. Here's the address. Send a couple pictures of what we've got, and then done. And so, but yeah, usually about 2,000 PV is what I've noticed a flight attendant can handle. And that's why I always teach our team, start asking right away, like literally the moment you enroll, start asking your friends and your family, do you know a flight attendant who brings product from Amazon? That's the key word, is Amazon and eBay. And it doesn't take long, and they're like, yeah, I found one. I'm like, awesome. And that's teaching them to be resourceful and to be empowered, right? So if the customs option is not available right away, they've got a whole host of flight attendants that can literally support an executive business. So a couple flight attendants can obviously support an elite business, and then, you know, it just goes on from there. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And every country is the same. I know they're going into Chile, these overnights, these from Santiago to Atlanta, you know, Santiago to whatever. I mean, I can promise you right now, there's flight attendants that are bringing products in from Amazon and stuff, and they're all dialed in with their scales, and it's all official. You just got to start asking people, and they find them. So right now in Argentina, we have like 3 or 4 ways of getting products in. And that was really because we set the expectation from day one on the distributors, not me. I said, I'm going to pick it up here in Utah. That's my job. I need you guys to figure out how to get it in your country. And they all say, oh, no, there's no way. Argentina is the hardest place to get products in. So I said, just keep asking. I know people are getting it in. And so it just took that culture of asking questions, and now they're doing it. So finding coconut oil is the same thing. I ship the big doTERRA coconut oil, and I'm telling them, stop doing this. We got to find coconut oil in country. And yes, it's volume, it's PV, but it takes up a lot of room in the packages. So after 2 months of asking, we found coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil in Argentina. Like, they found roll-ons now. We found, I mean, like, getting them set up with all the tools, I think, is so critical. But that's on them. That's for them to be the leaders and finding those things. And so it's amazing that they now step up to the challenge. And so, yeah, but yeah, with Argentina, we told them, like, man, there's like countries in front of us. I mean, Chile has got stuff going on. Peru's got stuff going on. Everybody wants to open. So I've told them from day one, there's no expectations. Like, we could be doing this thing for 5 years. and I need to know you guys are in this deal, because if not, we need to know this right off the bat. Some products can get lost. Are you in? Or are you out? Oh, I'm in still. Okay. So you're going to lose money in this deal. Are you in? Or are you out? Like, I've almost gone over the top of them going like, no, I don't want to do this thing with you. And honestly, we've had very few hiccups because people know from day one that this is not for consumers. We're not signing up customers right now. All customer orders have to go through an established wellness advocate, and they get the LRP points. They get all the upside potential, and a customer just gets whatever's in stock with one of their wellness advocates. So we only sign up business builders right now, period. And they can have their own customers off the books. And that makes for power of 3 and all sorts of cool stuff.
Sorry, so are your customers, are these customers going through the Wellness Advocate account? So they're just like selling the product to retail, or?
No. So basically I'll tell our wellness advocates, instead of signing up a customer who's going to buy $30 of oils in a month, we don't allow that. It's too much time for me to package up a 30 PV order, first of all. But I said that we don't want to have to support a customer, because if something gets tied up somewhere or a flight attendant misses her flight, I don't want that customer going, where's my oils? Where's my product? A wellness advocate knows the risks, knows the potential. So they're the ones who place the 30 PV order through their LRP. And then when the product gets in country, then they can call their friend up and say, hey, guess what? Your product's here. Come buy it because you're one of my customers. I mean, it's the real business model of multi-level, which is every distributor has their own little group of customers that are like off the books. And then when doTERRA opens officially, then they can sign that customer up legitimately if they want to. But right now, only business builders who understand the risk and are willing to sacrifice and do the pioneering. But they have lots of customers off the books ordering through the wellness advocate.
What I think becomes really useful about that is that then the business builder that has a bigger vision can be that buffer, right? Something goes wrong, they can be that buffer. We can work with those established business builders. And I think that really worked in Brazil, even through lots of tumultuous times, you know? So I think it's really smart, Randall.
Yep. But for those interested in shipping stuff down to Argentina, I'm trying to work something out, because this particular contact is like, it's extremely private individual. I had lunch with him when I was down there last time, and I sort of tossed out the idea of, hey, there might be some other people outside of my team wanting to ship here. How would you want to work that out? And so he and I are kind of working through some of those things, because he definitely doesn't want to be known, I guess. So Argentina is just the Argentines is like crazy with the government, and they all think they're on the radar screen, and it's really weird how they work, but they're all doing the stuff under the table. Like, this is a very ethical guy, very orthodox in his religion, and yet he's doing this side hustle of bringing things in under the table. But if we can work out something, then everything I've sent to him gets through 100%. We've actually lost 0 packages in a year and a half going through flight attendants and this particular guy. But he told me, I said, can you handle $50,000 a month in volume? He says, yeah, no problem. Just get it to the address. So, but now we have other things going on. He wants to be a little bit more controlled about it. So if there are people that want to ship to Argentina, I'm trying to work those details out, and I can put more in that spreadsheet when I find out the what the pricing would be. And ultimately, I'm going to see if we can find that contact. I think that's a great idea of having one contact at customs, and then it's, it can be maybe a little bit more organized. We do have the ProPay card down there, so people can earn commissions. And so we have shipping established for the most part, We have ProPay. The market doesn't need to be open. People can make money and get paid, and it's all great. So, when we hit doTERRA's radar, sooner would be better than later, but they're making money, they're having fun.
Tell us where your volume's at right now, Randall.
So last month, about 13,000, just my team. but I know there's others building there from other
Oh yeah,
places.
you've got an estimate there that
It
maybe
could be double. It could be double that with what everybody else is doing. Yeah, I think they're at least doing 20. At least got to be 20. I would say that's a good estimate. Is you can ask Pam what she's doing, but yeah, 13 and growing. I mean, every time we go down there, and I mean, yeah. The one challenge is we're duplicating the family essentials kit, which is great because it's affordable, but it sort of takes a while for somebody to really hit an organic elite, you know, because they're going to have all those customers. And I'm trying to see if we can introduce on one of our lines the the home solutions kit, because it's a better value anyway. But then we have the issue with the diffuser, so it'd be nice. I don't know if, like, I know other MLM companies sometimes can create custom enrollment packages. Like, it would be awesome if we could enroll them with just the 10 oils and the home solutions and not the diffuser, maybe bring the price down. I mean, that would be super beneficial.
There is a promotion for all Global Access that you can enroll with 100 points and no membership. So I've got a lot of custom kits just done up myself without diffusers, and just for people that don't want to, because I never do the family essentials. I try and do either the home essentials kit or other options, and I just do the custom kits. But you have to call in, so that's the only. It's a bit of a time.
That's the only way my people enroll is on the phone. I set up a phone number in Buenos Aires through Vonage, and it just forwards to doTERRA. So if they're leadership on our team, they get access to that phone number. So all of our enrollments happen over the phone because that $35 discount that they get with Global Access. What I was referring to is if they buy the Home Essentials kit, there's that built-in discount, you know, versus buying all the oils separately. So if enough of us ask doTERRA to maybe create a certain SKU that is basically the Home Essentials minus the diffuser, I couldn't see why they couldn't do it. Get, you know, Natalie and Daniel and some of these other, you know, bigger leaders to ask for that, and they might do it. That could be a massive duplicating kit down there, just the home essentials without the diffuser.
I'm happy to ask Ephraim about that. That's a great idea.
So that's what we've got. Yeah.
Awesome. Way to create. So guys, we've covered like 3 main markets. I want to hit on these last markets super fast in the last 10 minutes that we have here, and just point out anything that's unique. That Argentina, Randall, you've got it dialed in. I love your idea about the Vonage phone forwarder. So maybe if you can post about that or how you're doing that, because I think that's a great idea for many of us to make that a little bit easier for these people. I should introduce you. Hey, this is my friend Andres. He's from Colombia, and he's helping with our Latin markets. And I think with so much going on in this collaboration that's coming together now, we're so excited. Thanks, Andres, for making this spreadsheet and the Facebook group and everything so we can come together. Give him a hand. Love it. So let's roll through these last countries. Anything on Bolivia? Just point out anything that's maybe different than what we've talked about.
I know a lot of people are building in Bolivia. They're going through the same problem. So no, same thing, same boat.
Yeah. Any estimate on volumes there?
No, I don't know. But there's a big group in there going on.
Okay, sounds good.
One thing about Bolivia is they don't have their ProPay card. Really important for people to know when they're the commissions there.
No ProPay, so just AR balance?
Yep, that's what I believe.
Have you heard anything on Peru? I don't know if you're going to touch that country, Natalie, but
yep.
Andy Newsman can comment.
Who?
Go ahead. Let's talk about
Andy Moosman. If he's still on the call, Andy's got lots in Peru.
Andy, are you there?
I am here. And last time I heard, as far as like opening and stuff, I've talked and as has been mentioned many times here, it seems like at one point it focuses on volume, and then volume bounces around through all South America, and one's higher one month and then the next month it's a different country. But at this point, we're basically doing what all you guys are doing as well, shipping through Miami. Nothing new there. At the Blue and Presidential, there was a note somewhere that said 2020 for Peru, but I don't know if that's something that's on there. I know that initially Oreste Moscarella was in charge of Peru, Colombia, and Ecuador. And with the Andean pack, I was also told that once it's registered in Ecuador, it makes it a little bit easier for Colombia and also Peru. But same thing, ProPay. I've done some aroma touches down there and stuff, and it's finally opened up as far as that goes. Same as what everybody else has said, just a huge thirsting for the oils. It goes really well, just dealing with shipping. So,
you know, something that just came up to my mind, to me right now. I'm gonna find out about shipping from Ecuador to Chile and Argentina and Colombia instead of shipping from the U.S.
So
maybe
I asked
something like that.
Danielle. I actually asked Oreste about that, or not Oreste, Efrain, about that, because I said, I mean, technically everything that we ship goes through Colombia, then Ecuador, and then we go from Ecuador or Peru to pick it up in Ecuador. And so we asked, is there any way that we can do like a global access from Ecuador to Peru? And what Efrain told us is that the markets, that the products in those markets are supposed to be there to support those markets. I mean, obviously we could enroll people in Ecuador, and then what they get, they can take to Peru. But as far as, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Danielle, but just
yeah.
So
yeah, ouch. Yeah, I know.
I wonder if that, you know, once Ecuador gets going a little bit, then they're not going to be afraid, because like right now that kind of sounds like I'm afraid that you guys are going to start pillaging, you know, Ecuador for product, and then the people in Ecuador won't have it. So, but so Daniel, maybe if you can check out on your sources, then let us know, because I'm happy to go and talk to Ephraim and say like, hey, here's our needs. Like, you know, it's not going to cost doTERRA anymore to get down there, and then it will help us grow these Latin markets more.
Definitely.
We can't get there.
I'm actually gonna meet with them at the end of the month, and that will be one of the questions that I can also,
okay.
you know, gonna ask and see what's up. Maybe we can make it happen that way. Who knows?
Would Ecuador work the same way as Brazil, though, that you need an ID, a Brazilian ID, in order to be able to get any product with doTERRA?
Probably. But what I'm thinking is, I'm just thinking maybe it will be easier perhaps if the custom department sees that it's coming from Ecuador versus coming from the U.S. Maybe they're more lenient and just letting it go by. You know, just kind of thinking about on the custom side. You know,
so what you're saying is that we would need someone enrolled in Ecuador in that sense to get the product out, because it couldn't be, and then ship it. So it couldn't be, it wouldn't be able to be processed through all of the leaders that are that already exist. Kind of thing.
Yeah. I think one option there is if we can work with Ephraim, again, they could get like a maybe a way to run GAC shipments through Ecuador in time. Okay, so I think that's the goal there, but we're not there yet.
Danielle, am I mistaken? Isn't the warehouse and offices for Ecuador in Bogota? Or is there actually a warehouse in Ecuador?
As far as I know, it's in Ecuador.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like
you never know. Yeah. It's Ecuador, I think. Yeah. Because Colombia is going to have their own warehouse, but the products, Yeah, it has to be Ecuador, because even the labels that we have on the bottles, they say Ecuador. So
yeah, the difference is that there's only a warehouse in Ecuador. There's not an office, and in Colombia they will have a warehouse and an office.
Okay.
So
Colombia.
Yeah, so that was something that we brought up. Cristel Ramirez and I were talking with Efrain. We were trying to come up with any way possible to get products to Peru, because Peru's one of those as well. I mean, I've been working in Peru for 7 years, and at the beginning, I mean, we shot up. We were doing really well, and then same thing as everybody. Once customs found out about the little bottles, it was kind of like everything stopped, and so we've had that. We've never gone grouped together with other people, but we've had a few different customs agents that we've worked with, and then it would just like quickly pass through, and so. But then it would quickly stop as well. So it would be wonderful to come up with something like this as well for there.
Yeah, Christelle told me, I talked to her last week, and she said that she had talked to Dave Sterling, and they had a plan. I haven't heard from her yet, but because, you know, Christelle, like you said, she's been building pretty consistently there, but lately I didn't see her engaged, and I was like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? You know, and she's like, well, you know, it wasn't happening, so I went to the office, talked to Dave Sterling, and we have something in place. I'll let you know. So I'm just waiting to see what happened with that. Maybe something's gonna happen. I don't know. I'll keep you updated on the Facebook page.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Anything else on Peru? So that's awesome. Uruguay. Paraguay.
I've got some stuff in Uruguay. It's almost one with Argentina. So we're discovering some things. Customs is almost the same in Uruguay as it is in Argentina. So my Uruguay team, we've got an elite down there, and we just ship everything to Buenos Aires, and then they just run it across once a month over there. But we have a lady who's testing a service called Idlebox, AEROBOX, who claims they do shipping to Uruguay. So she has her LRP this month going through there to see if that's a solution. They can have ProPay there, I believe. I believe they can have ProPay there. We're still figuring that part out. But yeah, Uruguay's got awesome potential.
Okay, that's awesome. Anybody else that you know that's doing stuff in Uruguay?
Yeah, there's Elena Brower has a team down there. I know we ran into somebody. She was going to come to our event. So, but yeah, that's the only other one I know. Elena Brower has some people down there.
Cool. Paraguay.
We've done a little bit itty bitty down there. We actually had something really start to take off, and then it's kind of a long story involving corporate, but there is also the Rigby's, I believe, have something bleeding over from Brazil into Paraguay. I believe they have a Paraguayan leader who's building in both Paraguay and Uruguay, so you could ping them and just get some details on that. I did speak with that person or chat with that person on Messenger a few times, so I know she's down there, and she might even be doing something in Argentina as well. I can't remember for sure, but I know for sure she's doing Brazil and Paraguay. Paraguay has lots of potential. There is I'm trying to remember the name of the shipper. Was another one of these kind of shippers like you get like we've all mentioned, that was out of Florida.
Is that Aladdin? Aladdin?
No,
Aladdin?
no, it's another. I
Not
can't
a
remember
real
the
name,
name.
but you're just making that up that you ship.
I like the name, by the way, Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was kind of a catchy name, and maybe Roxanne remembers, but it was anyway. This is the company that everybody uses for their eBay and Amazon and stuff, and it was just
that's probably P-Box. P-Box. Paraguay
B-Box,
box, but
B-Box.
there's
Yeah.
P
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Aladdin
Yeah,
is the
that's the
same.
one.
They're $22 a kilo.
This one I don't remember what the charge is like. I just know we did a few test orders. We sent a kit and a
Out of
few
Florida.
things. Yeah, they're out of Florida, and it only cost an extra like $9 and something to get a decent sized package down there as far as an order goes.
We have a team growing in Paraguay right now, and the main leader for that group is actually in Miami. And what they've been using is Avianca, which is also an airlines. And I don't think customs, they haven't had any issues through customs. So they haven't said anything to me, at least. But I do know that they use Avianca. I don't know the charge by pound and all of that stuff for Paraguay, but I know that they haven't had any issues through customs.
Airlines.
Yeah, I remember that. You said that, Victor. And yeah, as far as I know, they didn't have any problems, right?
No problems at all.
No
and
problems.
Actually, they're doing so well that they rented a small office for their doTERRA business in Paraguay.
I'm ready to go to Paraguay. I served my mission there 20-something years ago, and I am excited. But we got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Daniel, Roxanne, James's wife, my sister, served her mission there too. So you guys will do a mission tour, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I actually have talked to Roxanne before, and we start talking in Guarani, which is the Indian language, and it's a beautiful country, and the people are very, very humble, very, very great people. I love Paraguay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rox and I we went down there, and when we had this team rolling, that was super exciting, lots of things going. But again, it's a long story. But yeah, we went down there. Just like all the Latin American countries, just beautiful people and lots of potential there, and lots of people who know how to make things happen if you just give them open up the lake for them.
Hey, one thing I thought, Randall, Shantae, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought we had some product getting across through Brazil. Of course, it was getting the Brazil taxes on it, so that was heavy, but it was getting into Paraguay. I know there's at least a silver in that is connected to the Brazil teams getting in stuff. Is that right? Is it going through Foz? Or
Maybe Shantae can comment. I don't know that specifically, but anything going from Foz de Iguazu, Brazil, into Ciudad del Este is no problem. It's an open border, so they just wave you on in coming into Paraguay. Into Brazil, it's still they're waving you through, but they kind of look at your cars a little bit more. But yeah, anything coming from Brazil into Paraguay is no problem through that border crossing. Foz de Iguazu into Ciudad del Este, Paraguay.
correct my spelling if I got it wrong. Okay, Randall. That sounds good, Shantae, no worries. Anything else there? Costa Rica. Guys, tell us how Costa Rica is. You were saying all the products are in.
Yes, they were having a lot of issues. There's a lot of jealousy in these countries, even when the product is registered, with all the requirements met and everything. They were looking for ways to charge more taxes because they noticed all the big shipments and containers. There was over 12 containers stopped for over 3 months, and they were trying to charge our products in a different category. But anyway, it was someone in customs wanting to do this, and they're still trying to do this. But they were able to get 7 of those 12 out as of right now. That's why we have enrollment kits again. That's an open market now. There's a warehouse, there's an office. And I really like now that they have local manager, they have a local marketing staff that is working on all the materials and everything for Costa Rica. So yeah, the market is doing well. It was just a hiccup. I'm still going through that hiccup of making sure customs is not overcharging doTERRA for everything, and keeping those containers stocked for 3 and sometimes even 4 months. And even after releasing the containers, there were a lot of products that were damaged because of the heat. So a lot of losses there. People were waiting on orders for about 2 to 3 months. So doTERRA had to replace those orders with different products, and they're still going through that right now. But everything is going back to normal right now with all the kits, the enrollment kits that we have. And they created some amazing promotions for people that had the issues. They helped the big rank people in the country they helped them by keeping their previous rank for the previous month, and they did that for 2 months, which was great help because of the hiccups through customs. But yeah, that's what's going on in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is an open market, and there's a warehouse and there is an office down there.
That's awesome. Wow. I don't know if you guys can see this, but like in all my time in doTERRA, you know, I've talked to Ephraim, I don't know how many times, and other people that are there in the market, but look at all that we know together. You know, and a lot of this stuff applies to all of them, but look at all that we know about these markets now. And I'm so excited that we have the Facebook group going so that we can really collaborate too. How are you guys feeling?
I feel happy. That's
great.
Thank you,
right?
Thank you, everyone here.
Just being able to dial into a little bit of this stuff, man, we can do so much together. I'm gonna drop in the Facebook page. Have all of you been added to the Facebook page now? Mastermind Espanol. Here's the link in the chat. If you haven't been added,
Any of the members can invite others.
And any of you can invite others. What else do we need?
That's great. And I think that, you know, as that Facebook group starts growing, that the leaders, you know, I upload into the files section any materials that we have in Spanish, so we can all benefit from it, PowerPoints or anything like that. I'll be more than happy to do that from what I have.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. So
because a lot of the times I go to the Diamond Facebook page and I'll go to the files, you know, and I you know, it makes me happy that there's so much material there that I can just go there and download it right away when I need it.
You know, I have a bunch of Empowered Success stuff that we got translated into Spanish, like what Lara used to train down at Mexico.
Wonderful.
And so we'll upload that as well. Good reminder. So maybe, you know, if we can even share images of things that are working for us, this can be super powerful. Rosie, let's see. Daniela, I think at this point, the way we did the Brazilian mastermind was that it could be any rank. What do you guys think? What do you want for this group? We could say like silver and above or something like that. So it's more high level talk.
I do think silver and above, so there's not much complaining going on.
Sound good?
Especially with having so much customs problems.
I like that. Okay, so we just keep it at silver and above, so we keep the noise down, right? And we as leaders set the tone of finding solutions and working with what's working, right? Wow. I think we can do this. Okay, so just invite silvers and above, and other than that, we'll keep it as more of a high level collaboration, and then you can go out to your people. That was the one downfall of the Brazilian group, is in the end it was like everybody there, and if the complaining starts, then it just unwinds, right? So we keep solutions oriented and silvers and above, and let's make some magic happen. Any other announcements or things that we should talk about together? Okay, have a great night. Viva Espanol y adios. How do you say it?
Adios.
Adios.
Gracias. Ciao.
Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Natalie and Andy.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Vamos. Ciao, amigos.
Looking forward to collaborating.
Amigos.